There are 6 different clans to choose from in Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and your clan in this game matters quite a bit. Thanks to Paradox Interactive and White Wolf for sponsoring this video and sending me the game early, which enabled me to play the heck out of it and test each clan and tell you all about them. Click the link down below so you can grab Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 for yourself. The Brujah. These are like the symbol of anarchy in the vampire world. Their playstyle on Bloodlines 2 is basically a good old-fashioned fisting. They're physically stronger, quick-moving, beat 'em up like brawler guys. They're like the deeply angry rebels, consumed by rage, who heavily rely on brute force and just raw power. They're ready to throw down at a moment's notice.
Well met, kin.
The hell you call me, runoff?
But they can also be very socially intelligent and charismatic and kind of manipulate people themselves. You can see that with their taunt ability that shows their presence affinity, which is what that stands for. It means they can also be charismatic. Some clans or vampires like to steer clear of them because of how hot-headed they could be. Others might think you're all muscle and no brain, even if you're a Brujah that knows how to control their anger. It's just the stereotype of this clan.
Why are you asking? If this isn't court or a breach of the mask, a hobby? A bird you've taken under your wing? Because there won't be trouble here, saint or...
They're very straightforward, not afraid of being confrontational, and typically not going to beat around the bush when it comes to their dialogue options. They have a deep hatred for anything or anyone trying to control them. The same for any type of authority or hierarchy that you'll deal with a lot of in Bloodlines 2. Every clan has a passive ability that involves what happens after they feed. After the Brujah feed, they have a temporary buff to their melee attacks. They have a taunt ability that pretty much enrages whoever they're taunting, and doing that is a pretty good way to get the red choleric blood resonance that you need for purchasing other clans' abilities. They can charge forward and grab an enemy to use as like a battering ram to batter ram through everyone else. They got like a gum jet gatling rapid punch combo that hits multiple enemies with the final blow dealing increased damage. And they can Hulk smash the ground. Plus, one of the best final abilities a clan can have. Killing enemies without feeding still activates your clan passive, so you get a strength buff with every kill. And these final perks are locked to that clan, so even though you can purchase other clans' abilities, you can't purchase that final one. You have to be a member of that clan. Possibly the most powerful clan, despite them being pretty new to the vampire world, is the Tremere, the highly secretive, intelligent clan of mages that use extremely powerful blood magic to do things like boil enemies alive to lure others in by using their screams, cursing targets so that they explode from the inside, or dissolving them without a trace after you feed on them. They can set a blood marker to teleport back to safety or to kind of set a trap for anyone who walks over it, and forge their blood into daggers to hit them from a distance. Careful planning and strategy are like a big clan trait for them, and they are extremely organized with a strict hierarchy. They're like the sole opposite of the Brujah. The Tremere are respected because of their power, but also feared and not heavily trusted because of it. And I mean, if you watch these guys boil someone alive through their blood or drain someone like a pig just to turn them into cherry icicles, it's kinda hard to trust that guy. On top of that, most vampire abilities are given to that clan by other vampires. Tremere were just mortal mages who created a spell to make themselves immortal and accidentally wound up as vampires. Then they deleted an entire vampire clan and took their spot. They're like the gatekeepers of blood magic. Their secrecy keeps anyone from knowing their real full potential and keeps their blood sorcery a mystery to outsiders, making them pretty feared and hard to trust. The Tremere also have some of the more intriguing characters, Safia and Mrs. Thorn.
You interest me.
Indeed. It has been a long time since anyone made eyes at me, but I suppose for once, the age difference is in my favor.
The Banu Haqim are often seen as like savage assassins by other clans, but they're actually a pretty diverse clan of warriors, big brain smart guys, and strategists. Vampires who fight from the shadows, but are also extremely good in open combat. They're actually insane, but they're kind of like Avengers, avenging what has broken their own moral code.
It is often the case that I find stories of people who have transgressed. I bring them to justice when I can. We share blood. Your heart is surely inflamed by injustice, like mine.
They're like the lawbringers of the vampire world, but their sense of justice isn't necessarily what you or another clan might agree with. They're the judge, jury, and executioner. In the game, this can be seen through dialogue. Typically, if you choose a clan dialogue, you're going with whatever involves a by the book, this person broke the rules, they should face consequences reply.
What do I think? That you must answer for your crimes.
Other clans struggle to trust them since they're, cursed with an addiction to vampire blood, and that's typically the form of execution they choose to use when someone's broken their rules. Something seen as like a disgusting cannibal-like act by other vampires. It's the worst thing you can do. It's kind of hard to trust a guy who's addicted to eating you and might gladly do so if you screw up, rumored to look for any opportunity to do that. These are just the stereotypical ways of the clan though, so you can choose to be that stereotypical Banu Haqim or not. This was the first clan that I played and beat the game with, and I was not disappointed. They're listed as hard to master, but they're really not bad at all once you know how their abilities work. With the clan's passive ability, you can eat people right next to others without being heard, and as long as nobody's directly looking at you, you will not be caught. This is straight up broken. You can clear a room of enemies in seconds before they even know you were there.
Can't be much longer before I get killed.
Split Seconds lets you teleport behind enemies for a silent little feed, or a quick escape out of combat, or from a Masquerade breach. You can combine that with their passive ability to just keep on silent feeding. You can slice off heads and whoever is nearby gets a taste of that as well. And you can even turn invisible. If you combine that with feeding, nobody can see or hear you. The mute ability is typically used to make enemies silent while I destroy them, but if there's a witness to my vampire antics and they're running away to find the police, you can just mute them.
Silence.
Can't you hear me? What's happening?
The Ventrue, I think, are one of the most interesting clans to play as. They are the clan of kings who just like having control, they like having power, and they like structure. They're always the highest class of nobility.
Or would you prefer to wash first? You positively reek, my dear.
And they usually run things. They're like the corporate robots in modern times of Vampire the Masquerade. Typically not a person that anybody in real life might enjoy being around, but they're good at management and they keep the vampire world afloat.
Oh, I dabbled. Import, export, acquisitions, and beatings.
Ventrue kind of see themselves as superior. They typically rule because they believe they're the best choice for vampire society's long-term survival. Leading because it's their duty to, even if they see it as a burden. They might not like being the leader, but they still do it. But that also makes them come off as arrogant tyrants with a superiority complex, and they often are. They're typically seen as just robotic people who aren't very fun to hang around with and just want to make sure that you're in line and you're listening to them.
I apologize. I was not in control of myself. How may I atone?
Smooth, very smooth.
I'm sorry, Fire. But perceived or otherwise, I can't ignore this.
Gameplay-wise, they're the kings of control and manipulation still. They like to sit behind the scenes, controlling all of their enemies like they're little puppets and just manipulating them. That perfectly describes their gameplay and their abilities too. They can straight up just tell their enemies to, Feeding gives them a giant damage resistance for a little while. They can control enemies, see through their eyes, and use their weapons against the enemy's friends. You can wipe someone's memory, which is a handy little thing to do when you're spotted by someone or to stop a witness. Or you can freeze everyone in place and apply an ability to everyone that you can see on screen, which is just absolutely nuts. And their clan perk, the final one on the list there, allows them to restore more health while feeding. If you combine that with their first one, it's pretty dang powerful because they already have a high damage resistance after feeding. Now they're also healing. It makes them virtually unkillable. The Lasombra are basically the dark aristocrats of vampire society. Elegant and all that, but ruthless, and all about control. Other clans will usually see them as cold-hearted manipulators, and for the most part they are. It's a pretty accurate stereotype, but they're also smart, strategic, and good in combat. Unlike clans like the Banu Haqim who go by their sense of justice, or Ventrue who rule because their philosophy says that they should lead even if they don't want to, Lasombra want power for their own personal gain. Ventrue and Lasombra are like two sides of the same coin essentially. Lasombra want control, but they do it for themselves. They don't care who they need to sacrifice or who gets in the way, and don't have time for weakness. Typically, they're actually disgusted by weakness. Lasombra never know what they look like because they're unable to see their own reflection, which does sound like the origin story of a bully.
Acknowledge your betters, you impoverished beast.
Lasombra like to intimidate and are able to move through the shadows and manipulate those shadows against enemies. You can trap enemies with your shadow or jump through your own shadow to emerge from an enemy's. You can scare enemies into running away or use their ability called Enter Oblivion to cast yourself and any targeted enemies into the Shadow Realm. And their final perk is pretty dang good, allowing you to just not take damage while feeding. You're indestructible. And on top of that, their passive will also make you harder to see by using their shadows. Playing Lasombra is like using Shikamaru. You hit from the shadows and then smash them with big shadow attacks. Lastly, a lot of people's favorite clan, the Toreador. The Toreador are often seen as artists and seductive, super social charmers. Other clans might see them as shallow, conceited snobs who only care about their own social status and good looks. And they kind of are.
Even more
delicious up close.
Damn, she fine.
I imagine the feeling is regrettably mutual.
But just like the other clans, there's more to them. Not all of them are actual like artists with paint and all of that. Some find something they love and treat it as art. They might see beauty in like fighting or in a deep revenge plot. You know, some of these guys are kind of psychotic.
Kid, take a look. Drink it in. This is my magnum opus. At least it will be. It's kind of a work in progress. I think the color balance is off. Maybe it needs another femur?
All of these other clans fight over like power or justice. The Toreador crave connection and inspiration, but they're able to use their social influence and connections to manipulate or sway the opinions of others if they want to. Their curse is that they feel everything a little too deeply and typically end up obsessing a little too much over someone or something. Toreador abilities allow you to hypnotize others by giving them a little smooch to fight for you, or walk over to the last location they saw you in. You can move with crazy speed after feeding, or with their celerity abilities, boost your reflexes and evade any incoming damage, or instantly dash around, which you can carefully choose the location of. Their final skill allows your relocate abilities to constantly recharge, whether it's your blink ability that you use to dash around or any relocate ability that you purchase from another clan. They're all in that same row, that horizontal like column. So yeah, the Toreador thrive in social situations. Their dialogue is typically charismatic, letting you sort of charm your way into the good graces of other characters. Other clans are typically kind of grossed out over their love for themselves, but they're very influential. People like looking at them, and the Toreador love it. They eat that crap up.
You interest me.
In a you want to trace the contours of my face kind of way? Or in a you get chills when you contemplate the depth of my vision kind of way?
But yeah, let me know what your favorite clan is or which one you picked or plan on picking down in the comments. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is out now, so click my link down below to grab it for yourself. See ya.